Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
And welcome back for hour 2 of our NSE Roadshow Comics road tour here as we get into yet another crowdfunded comic book. We just left the Bushibu Circus Mysteries, and now we go further down. We're going all the way down to the core of it all. We are going to go, we're going to go rake hell, and we're going to go rake hell with Doran Corkum with us tonight. Doran, how are you, man?
Hello, hello. Not too bad. How are you doing yourself?
You know, I'm surviving. I really thought that I was going to do one half-hour show tonight, and then spend the rest of the day throwing up, or the rest of the night throwing up.
Oh no,
I've
no.
apparently gotten better. Well,
good.
I've got a little tiny mini fridge over here that I got at Walmart. And it has Coca-Cola written on the front of it, and it's meant to, you know, put your soda cans in and keep them cold. Not meant to put your burritos in and save them for a week. Yeah, so I was like, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? And I popped it open. It was lunch, actually, and I was like, oh, I've still got 2 burritos in here, and they feel kind of cold. Although I can't squeeze this one because the air has swollen up, and it's like it wants to pop the wrapper.
Oh, uh-oh, trying to escape itself.
Yeah, so I took scissors and went, psst. And like, okay, it still feels cold. I cooked it. I ate the one and half of the other, and I was like, this tastes got a little tang to it here.
A little extra something.
little extra something. I'm not so sure I should be eating this. Pitched the rest of it, and then sure enough, about 2 hours later, I could feel the oncoming. Oh yeah, this is going to be a food poisoning night. This, you know. Grab a bucket and be able to run at the same time, because you're going to need both ends.
You're going to be talking to that bucket and hugging it.
Yeah, hugging that bucket while you sit on the throne. Yeah. But feeling better, much pleasant. What a pleasant topic to open a stream with.
Yeah. Totally not just like what a horrible job to go with it is raking hell, right?
Exactly. I was like, you know,
horrible job.
And why in the world would you rake hell? But this is Quint's curse. Yeah. You've got to rake hell so that, you know, the hell flowers can grow when you sow them afterward.
Just to make work for you to do while you're being tortured, I'm sure.
all those dead leaves falling off the trees of the damned were the souls of the suicide grove trees.
And I'm sure you know the ground's hot. It's melting your feet, burning your feet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's not burning those leaves. You still got to rake them up.
No, couldn't have that happen. No.
And then you probably still got to set fire to them, which, you know, is like, why? And stand real near.
Yes.
So Inkfinity Comics in the chat tonight. Welcome, guys. Oh yeah. I will. Or here's the thing, Ali, I live in rural Arkansas on top of a mountain. Pizza doesn't come to me. Now, if I drive 15 miles, I can get some of the best pizza I've ever had. It's really good, but I was lunch. I didn't have time to drive because I work. Heroinberg, hail to the chat. Back from the Northeast Con. You are a con traveling fool, my friend, and I hope that hope they all are making you a fortune at each stop. So, because you've got a quality product that to show off out there, and you've got the booth babes to draw them in to, and tempt them out of their money. So Doran, is this your first Kickstarter?
This is my second Kickstarter.
Okay, so you're a pro.
No, not even close. I'm learning the ropes, and I'm kind of learning them, I think, the hard way. The first one failed back in June, and everybody asked me to relaunch it, but I had this sitting around, and I promised the artist Aja I would launch this. So I sat on it. I don't know if that'll be a mistake long term. I don't think it will be. To launch this one, to try and get this one rolling, just because I loved it so much. Aja did a great job on the art, and it really came together really well and really quick.
Okay, so tell me how just funded is this just funded sticker?
So I didn't know, to my newbiness, I didn't know how long you keep that on there for. So I just got funded on Saturday, would it be? And I wasn't sure whether I should transfer it off or not. So it just got in there.
I'm surprised that you actually had to do something. I would really think that if Kickstarter were on their game, they would have an overlay that just went on top of your picture and just did it, and then they would pick it up when they want it. Yeah.
Instead, they make you download a media kit, and then in that media kit is this graphic, and then this graphic did not fit, believe it or not, to that corner, so I had to cut it apart. So it would have one that would fit in that. It was built for every corner, but that one. There might have been a reason for it, but here I am going, okay, here I go.
Oh, so they had it at the 10 o'clock, the 2 o'clock, and the 7 o'clock position, but not the 5 o'clock.
Not the one I needed. No, it would have been over his hat in one spot. It would have been over his hand in the other. I just liked it there better. Right?
There's 4 corners, like Kickstarter. Come on.
Yep. I'll shake my fist at them.
Damn you, Kickstarter.
One more graphic for me to make out of the thousands.
one more reason to go to Indiegogo. I
have not tried it yet.
That's another debate. Actually, it's not a debate for me at all. I say go to both of them. Whatever you're going to sell on both of them. Go to Kickstarter and then go to Indiegogo, and then keep it on Indiegogo's in demand. And that seems to be a path that works for some people. So what are we at with this book? You've got, and I'm talking pages and costs, and let's just say pages first. How many pages is this baby?
It's 24 pages. I was originally going to do a little bit more, and I might still expand it. I'm still kind of tempted to. I built it so that it can end where it's at right now, or it can end, believe it or not, in another 4 pages or another 8 pages. So I'm still on the fence right now whether I will do that or not. And it's just a matter of where it stops and where it starts for issue 2. But
but not an ongoing then.
It is. It's an ongoing series for sure. But it's only 24 pages to start with. Oh yeah, this is. Oh, sorry. If we're talking series wise, I could see it probably going 10 comics before it's done. If we continue to get the funding to keep the ball rolling here.
Okay, so when you say that it's done in 24 pages or whatever pages you add to it, you're talking about a good stopping point.
A good stopping point in the comic. Yeah.
Okay. So Quint is your main character, I'm guessing?
No, actually.
And I'm guessing this isn't Quint.
No. So I put this in here. So I'm trying to hit the 50 backer mark. I was trying to do it for the last 24, and I was talking to Pops, and he said, do something. So I put it at the top. I've seen it done in some other Kickstarters at the last minute. And what I'm trying to do is do a kind of a raffle. So the card down below is called the Lightning Goddess. She's not in this, but it's a new character design that Aja did on a 4x6 sketch card. So this is
nice.
Original art.
So that's postcard sized.
Yeah, and if we hit 50 backers, if we somehow pull this off, get another 11 by tomorrow noon, that will be thrown into somebody's random. So I mean, if we hit 50 exactly, 1 in 50 chance, you're going to end up with that baby for free. And I'll pay for, even if you buy the digital version, I'll pay for shipping to get it to you.
The link is right below the video. Hit the link, get out to the Kickstarter. I didn't pin it to the top of the chat, mea culpa. but you can still get to the. You're not so lazy that you can't scroll a little bit and listen to us talk and see the link. So
just go to Kickstarter and type in RakeHell. There is nothing else called RakeHell out there. That's for sure.
You don't even have to type it in. The link will take you direct.
Nice.
Direct to RakeHell. We make it easy. We make it very easy. No, I have not brought this up yet because we haven't had a chance to talk more than 10 minutes and 51 seconds. But does Whitefire print their books in the U.S. or are there going to be Canadian shipping costs?
Yep, there are Canadian shipping costs, but they're fairly low. So, and it depends on it does depend on how you do it. So there's something called oversized documents in Canada, and you can fit the Gemini mailer just within it. So if you do a bunch of add-ons, so for instance, if you buy the tier, the $27 tier, that's $27 Canadian. So take 25% off of that, and you get the printed copy with the digital. Then that's what I believe. That's what shipping and everything. It came to come to 27, but it's not that expensive. The shipping is only $6. Now I don't know about the border fees. I don't know if you guys get hit with border fees on the opposite side of that or not.
It depends on who your shipper is, but yeah, and it also depends on what you declare the value to be on your custom page.
Yeah, I know that can be tricky. I did get them printed in the States before. I did use Kablam when I did my original comics, but I probably will get them shipped in Canada, and they'll be coming over the border.
The value, the stated value of your book is the cost it takes you, what it costs you to print that single one out of all the ones you had printed, which is probably about $1 to $3.
Nice.
So if you state $3, then that's what the tax will be, and it probably isn't even enough to kick it in. I do the same thing when I ship to Europe. Because it was Billy Tucci. Somebody bought like a $400 book. I'm pulling the actual number out of my butt right now, but it was expensive. And when it arrived in Europe, they got slapped with like $100 almost in VAT taxes. That was the actual price there. It was close to $100 before they were allowed to take the possession of the book, because they put the retail value on the customs form, and that's what it calculated off of. I was like, no, that should have been like $15 right there, and then your VAT would have been calculated off of that.
From what I understand, I have done some shipping, for instance, and if it's over $20, there is a limit there where you get charged, where it's under and they don't worry about it, and then there's an over. So I think it's somewhere around $20 Canadian if you were to declare it as. And a lot of the rewards won't quite hit that level, hopefully. I'm hoping people don't experience something like that. The other option would be to do it as gifts, but I'm brand new at this. As far as I understand, if you do it as a gift, you might be getting yourself into some trouble.
It's not a gift. They bought it. You can't illegally declare it as a gift. You could.
That's probably
you don't want to lie, but you're not lying when you say the thing is a $3 value, because that's not what they paid for it, but that's what you paid for it. So you're the one filling out the form. The value to you is $3.
It's funny, when I shipped to the Philippines, I was shipping over to the artist the blank cards for the sketch cards. They're blank, and they asked me the value of them, and they acted like I was lying about it. I'm like, no, I'm not lying.
Let's open it up. Look, it's a stack of blank cards.
It has no value till the art's on it, right? It's just
it had your value was what did you go to Walmart and spend on a pack of 25 cards or 50 cards or whatever. That's it. That's all it was.
It can be tricky though.
You got shipping's what we do, Doran. I've shown enough on enough streams that we fulfill for a lot of different crowdfunding campaigns. You just got to learn how to play the game. You follow their rules, but you make it so that they don't want to play the game. Like comic books are not allowed to go media rate. We all know we're not shipping comic books because we don't have ads in them, and that was the whole reason for the rule in the guideline in the postal regulations. When they're saying media rates, it's like, nothing with printed advertisement, it can go media mail. And then it says in bold letters, comic books are not eligible for media mail. Well, they did that because it was 1971. And, they were like advertisements for x-ray specs and stuff. Yeah. Comic books were supported by the advertising costs, which was one reason why you could get them for 75 cents an issue. But that's another topic. but you know, they have the right to, you know, inspect your media mail.
Yes.
Which is why we put them in the Gemini mailer, and then we put them in a poly bag, and then they're sealed. So yeah, the embrace will be going out in this one.
And it's printed. I was trying to figure out if I could print on things like that.
You can, and I can tell you where we get ours at. Is through Sticker Mule. They have the option. They're a little expensive because our clients pay like $1.60 extra on top of their shipping to have a printed bag. We also have blank ones that we've got from Uline, which are like 27 cents per bag. So the printing is expensive, but boy, when it shows up on your doorstep,
isn't that cool?
Doesn't it look nice?
It's the finished experience, right? I love a good experience like that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you can see on our wall here, we've been collecting them up as our clients get fulfilled.
Cool.
The little green one there is the only time I've ever had to refulfill a package was half of the package. We sent out the Rabbi from Another Planet and we taped it onto a cardboard box because there was 12 by 18 prints that wouldn't fit in the Gemini mailer. I wasn't going to fold them. He thought they were going to be folded. I'm like, hell no, I won't do that to product. Yeah. One person, their package came to them in a plastic bag from the post office because somebody had baptized it in motor oil. I mean, it wasn't like it fell in it and the corner got greasy. It soaked, and the books were pristine. They did not get through the bag, but the prints had to be replaced. So, you know, fortunately we had multiple extra copies, and I shipped those out. And this time I rolled them in a tube and I shoved them in a bag, and guess what? There was nothing going to get to them that time. So yeah, but the reason I say that is that you know, if you don't make it easy, people who've got to inspect things at random, they're looking for a box that they can slit open, close, retape it back shut. You got to rip open a bag.
And maybe if you saw that art on there, honestly, too, you might think twice about it because you're really ruining the experience for someone. Well, I mean, I suppose they're not that thoughtful. Maybe
I don't think they care about that.
I guess if you're sitting there all day doing it, yeah.
What they care about is that they're like, they got to rip it and tear it, and it's going to come out all messy, and they can't tape it back up neatly. They'll bypass that for something that's easier to inspect because people are lazy. I'm not saying, you know, that specifically those people are lazy. I'm saying we're all lazy. If we got to, you know, if somebody says, go check out 3 or 4 of those boxes over there for, you know, like bad stuff, and like 7 of them are like taped to the gills, and one of them's got like, you know, a piece of tape, I'm checking the one with the little piece of tape. I was like, yeah, I can get in this one. I'm done. My job's over. I've inspected my quota. Don't make it easy.
You know what? If I remember correctly, in Canadian mail, anything that goes oversized letter mail doesn't have to worry about customs because of its size.
Yeah, but what about weight?
Yeah, I keep it under 500 grams. I weighed everything, man. I had a scale. I weighed everything to try and figure it out, and the size of it, and that it's painful to try and figure out shipping.
Tell me about it. I do it all the time. I got my scale, got my label printer. Yeah, it's hell. Not the kind of hell that your main character is in, and we haven't talked about that.
Yeah,
but
so you need to scroll down a little bit farther if you want to get to the graphics that kind of go to start going. I probably should have put.
We do need 11 more backers.
Oh, if we get them 11 more backers, that'd be awesome. But this is something else I started offering last week too. Just an FYI to anybody listening out there, is I said all backers now get this artist card as well, which will also be a 4x6. But anybody who gets new, so anyone brand new today or changes and adds an add-on that was a previous backer, will now also get Dawn card, the Dawn Templar Lydian card. So these are just, I'm trying to do some incentives to try and get people interested and give people something extra, right? These type of cards are not overly expensive. I've already bought the artwork and worked on it so I have it here. Why not give somebody a little something?
So if you've backed it already and you want this Templar Lydian, go add something to your campaign so that you're eligible to get it. So you have a complete set. You want to have both of them. So who is Quint? What is his curse? And who's this guy?
So that's just it. I don't want to tell you what Quint's curse is, but
Show's
I can
over,
give you some hints.
Be sure to click on it and back.
Yeah, so it's a tease, but it's not that big of a tease if you know Whitefire Comics. For instance, if you go to whitefirecomics.com, you will see a Quint Untold Tales, and also as an add-on in here, a Quint Untold, Quint Untold Tales comic, which is a 10-page little short story. And it's bundled with my Gabriel Hand of God, another 10-page short story. They're done in an old, was it called Marvel Presents back in the day? I loved the Marvel Presents back. So what it was, actually, do I have one here? Yeah, I do. So there is some teasing in this. So this is the Quint. But watch what happens here. When we flip it,
it's
another story. So you flip it around and you read it, and so it reads this way. And then it reads this way. And they just meet in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Silverline does a lot of flip books.
Okay. I've never seen it done since Marvel Presents, because Marvel Presents back in the day was really cool. You could get Wolverine hooked up with Cable and then Ghost Rider with Cable was another story in the back, and I love those characters. So
I remember those. So this, but somebody's a Templar Knight, and
yes, they are,
and it looks like it's set in the days of the Old West. I don't know if that's true or not.
It isn't, but this character has been around a while, and his name, I call him. Nobody knows what his name is, his official name. I call him Keeper, and anybody who knows him only knows him by what he does. So he's a keeper of things, and he's a keeper of secrets, and he's a keeper of a graveyard full of secrets. There's lots to figure out, and that's why I'm kind of leaving it that way. And Quint's curse, if you can read that short story before or after, and it won't affect anything. I wrote it in that fashion, but this is all about a fight that happened over a town or a hamlet called RakeHell. And RakeHell is actually also the name of a breed of demons, a new breed of demons the devil created a while ago. So that they
never name your town after a group of demons. They think they're home when they come.
Well, that's just it. They're manipulative demons. So they made it get named after them, is part of the thing. So they're very egotistical. But the fight has been long lost for RakeHell. But one Templar remains, and that's Keeper. And he gets found out in the first issue. So, in the Templar Knights, they've got. Does he still got the treasure, or is it still buried on Oak Island? Oak Island is an influence to this whole series.
Yeah.
So that's a great question, and this whole series will have a Oak Island kind of story at one point in the middle of it, explaining what happened since Oak Island and what happened, kind of a back in time story.
So where is on the map, so to speak, where is RakeHell? Is it East Coast, West Coast, 6 miles south of Springfield? I
had originally named it, and I originally put it on a map, and I rewrote it and took it all out. So it could be anywhere.
Okay, it's just outside of Riverdale.
It's wherever you could be at, wherever it's forgotten in time. So it could be that small town over the hill that you don't know is a ghost town now, or anything else.
I love those towns like Riverdale and Springfield. It's like, this is a town with where the kids go to the beach and up into the mountains and river rafting, and it's seasonal, so it can't be any place that matches all of that. But it reminds me of Riverdale's that way. Springfield, my favorite Simpsons moment, and I haven't watched The Simpsons in God knows how many years. But when they started to say, well, here we are on the map, and somebody steps in front of the camera, so you were just about to find out which Springfield they were in, and
just cruelty, isn't it? My friend Corey, who writes Sister Mercy, actually brought up at one point. He asked, "Why isn't this in Nova Scotia?" Because we're both from Nova Scotia. We're creating comics, and I thought to myself, I'd put it somewhere else. I won't say where, just to not affect anybody else's thoughts on it. And I'm like, why can't it just be it's out there? It's a mystery town. It could be anywhere. It's not on, as the kind of the first prelude says. It's not on your GPS. It's not on your highway signs. It's forgotten in time, literally.
It'd be like Brigadoon. It only shows up in the fog, and
oh yeah, kind of like almost like a portal between realms, you know what I mean, type thing. Yeah.
And I listen to a lot of old time radio when I'm driving, and there was actually a story now that I can't remember what the name of it was. It was on one of those suspense kind of things, where it was, you know, the town that nobody goes to because it was populated by cats, people who turned into cats.
I've seen some crazy stuff even in California where whole malls, shopping malls, are abandoned in some of these towns in the middle of nowhere. There was some special on that, and I was like, look at this beautiful, like, I can't believe this shopping mall in the middle of someone built it in the middle of nowhere for some reason, and it's gone.
I saw urban archaeology of Jamestown Mall in St. Louis, where they did just abandon the mall after it had been open for a long time. It was, you know, a spot in the 80s to go to. And this guy was, you know, he was walking around in there, and while he's worried about security, because he goes down to the office and it's like the lights are on and the cameras were in there working. He's like, somebody's here, because it was like overgrown with weeds inside. He found like mattresses in closets that people have been sleeping on. But what got me was he walked past this one pop culture store, and it was like full still of new in box action figures and coffee mugs and you know, superhero emblazoned stuff. And I'm like, when was this video shot?
Yeah,
and,
I'd be checking the date too. Yeah, can I get there? I gotta check my watch.
I'm going somewhere for lunch. I'll be back.
Turn those cameras off.
I'll either be, you know, because I'm like, what are they gonna do? Nobody owns the stuff anymore.
No. They'd probably be happy if you got moved it on. Like nobody would probably
even notice. Cleaning. You're helping clean the place.
Having said that, I can tell you a real story about my teenager. I loved drawing and designing stuff. So there's this abandoned building, and I went into it, and it had blueprints in it. Ooh. And I was like, ooh, blueprints. I loved doing that type of stuff. Like, so I played Dungeons and Dragons and all this devil worship stuff considered back then perfectly fine these days. But so I found these blueprints, and I took them home. Somehow they figured out that I was in the building, and I took blueprints. And they came to the house, and there was some explaining that had to be done. I didn't realize that they were the blueprints for the local bank. I just and they were just sitting in an abandoned building. Yeah. So I was like, oh.
What did you like? Get in there after Whitey Bulger and the gang left, and we're getting.
I don't know. It was just full of blueprints. Just picture this old building. It's almost like out of a comic book. And it wasn't far from my high school, so everybody would go over there and smoke. So people would go to the back just to get off property, so you could get in trouble if you're caught smoking on property back then.
Yeah.
So you went off property, some of them that smoked. I didn't smoke, but my buddy did. So that's what led me over there. And then we started nosing around, and we started going to the second floors, and you know what I mean? Eventually found it, and like, oh, cool, right?
Yeah, it's like custom-made dungeons, ready-made dungeons. Just, you know.
Yeah. Hopefully don't fall to the floor.
What's this safe doing over here in this building?
That's right, yeah.
Damn, that's an interesting story. So somebody obviously, it wasn't as abandoned as y'all thought it was.
No. And how they would figure out they must have went to the high school and then traced me back to the side of the mountain in Nova Scotia somehow, right? It wasn't an easy task, whatever they did.
So here's another character we've seen here. Now we've got the two main characters. You got the Keeper and this guy.
Is Mangrel, I call him. Yeah, that's my demon name for him. I wanted to put a little bit of man in there, and Mangrel. I wanted it to sound like it was Mangrel. You mangle something, but Mangrel is what I call this demon. And he's a RakeHell. The story about the RakeHells is in Gabriel, Hands of God, kind of the first part of that, and I don't mind giving away a little bit of. RakeHells are this species of demon that the devil's just frustrated as hell with this war between heaven and hell, right? He's frustrated, he can't win. So he literally rips part of his flesh off and spawns these RakeHells out of his own flesh. And they're just sent out to be manipulative, control, and they get what's called dark rewards. So every time they get a soul, based on how pure that soul was or how corrupted they did that soul, they get greater gifts. And the ultimate goal for them is they're thrown out of hell is to get they be able to descend back into hell is their ultimate goal. So when they get a certain rank, let's say, they can go back home where they want to be.
Okay, so they're literally like like symbiotes of Satan. Like,
yeah, literally of his flesh. Yeah.
And you have this third cover. I'm assuming these both were covers, right? Yes.
They absolutely correct. Yeah, they're both covers by Aja, the artist, the inside artist, and this one here is by Derek Stevens, who does some crazy stuff. His imagination is phenomenal.
I love the light on that.
Yeah, yeah, and just if you start looking at it, you'll start to see more things. The more you look at it, you'll see more tombstones. And top right, when you look at it, you'll start to see a face. So he really mushes together a bunch of things, and you really have to look at his art sometimes to figure it out. So this is the front cover of what I called the Spooktacular edition, or the limited print that I'll do 100 of. And look, wait till you see the next one of the collector's edition when you get to the back here. This one is Mangrel, his version of Mangrel. Very different,
oh my
but
God.
I love his creativity, and it's just insane. I did do some edits to this one to modify the face a little bit, but it's phenomenal. It's just creepy, and that's his Hellhound. So it's So
you're an artist as well, or?
I am. I'm a lot of things. I carry a many. I've been drawing since I was young. I did a cover for my Forsaken Future. One of the covers was mine, so I just at this one, Forsaken Future was happening. I would have loved to have done my own cover, but someone gave me feedback that don't do too many covers. So Aja had already done the first two, and I really wanted Derek Steven. I knew he had a creepy style. I knew his style would fit a really cool cover. So this is a wrap cover, right? So that's the back of it. So it's
wait a second now. Cool. Are you saying that this is the front and this is the back of the same book?
That's where, yeah. And if you scroll up just a little bit, it'll tell you. I'll put in the marker 1 of 100 or 5 of 100 on the back part, right?
Yeah.
There. So I'll put in manually 1 of 100, 2 of 100, 3 of 100 to number them out.
Oh, nice. So there's only going to be 100 of them done, and you'll know not only that you're 1 of 100, but you'll know which one of the 100 you are.
Exactly. I love doing that type of stuff to them. Yeah.
That's very cool. Here's some previews of the interior art. Loving this. This is Ajay who did the interior, did those covers as well.
The first 2 covers, yes.
So you know what you see on the outside is what you're going to get on the inside.
I've definitely wanted to portray that. I absolutely hate it. Even when I used to buy comic books in the day, I mean, I get the collector's edition cover, but when I usually like to have definitely have the artist do covers for it for the main comic, the standard edition. He's got to be, whoever's doing my inside art is usually the one who's doing the cover. I just think it's the right thing to do. That they deserve it. They did the interior work too, you know.
So no letters on this yet, but.
No, I didn't want to. Yeah, when it's only 24 pages, I really fought with whether to make it the 28 or the 32 for the first issue. I don't want to give away too much, so I did scramble these. I didn't want lettering on it. I do see that a lot. It probably does help sell to get a feeling for what's going on. But I even scrambled some of this so that it didn't give away too much.
Yeah, pages aren't in an order of sequence that allows you to.
And even I took out some frames so that it's not a full page in a couple instances.
Oh, okay. It's got a dim Son of Saturn kind of vibe to it, but I'm showing my age when I say that.
I mean, yes, it does. Yes, of course it does. See,
you didn't know
the glowy thing. Yeah.
You're far too young to know Gem, Son of Saturn, DC Comics 12-issue miniseries.
No, I don't.
Basically. Yeah,
dang, I probably should. I have a feeling we're pretty close. We got to be pretty close in age.
I'm 54, so
a couple of years, 49.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I thought. You came in like everyone else under Image. Those were my first comics.
I remember waiting for Image. Oh, don't even mention Image. That's still a sore point. People complain about people not hitting their fulfillments. I waited for Wetworks for like almost a year. I think it was when I pre-ordered.
Did it ever come out?
It did. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Just amazing art. But yeah, wait for issue 2? I don't think so.
I know. That was the thing with Image that killed him was, it's so many pretty poster books, not very many comic books.
No. Great vision. Only the ones who could produce, like like Todd McFarlane and all that. The ones that could produce were the ones who survived. The rest of them were just kind of got washed up.
Well, you'll notice that Todd, even within the first 10 issues, he had Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman, and Dave Sim
taking over
writing. because he knew that you needed writers.
Smart, very smart guy.
And yes, Harwenberg knows. Jem was the Saturn version of the Martian Manhunter. Red instead of green. He had a little glowing stone here. He had people hunting him down, and he didn't at the time exist in the mainstream DC universe. He was just sort of like one of those 12-issue series that ran beside it. But later on, I think it was around Crisis time. Yep, he was right there in the rest of the DC universe. Yeah, they did those 12-issue maxi series, 12-issue maxi series that they would do, and I think the very first one was Camelot 3000. So
why do I know that? I might have seen that one before somewhere. Was
it
any good?
It is excellent. Well, it's Mike W. Barr writing it, and it's Brian Bolland doing all the interior artwork and covers. Oh. So it's in a trade paperback. It's a must read.
Okay,
it's an absolute must read if you like Arthurian legend.
Oh, yes.
It's basically aliens have invaded Earth. They're attacking Earth in the year 3000, and one young man in England, they shot his flying car, and he's running to hide, and he hides in Glastonbury Tor, and he awakens Arthur, who's been asleep under the hill. Until such time as England needs him, and England needs him. And then the rest of the book is assembling all the reincarnated knights, because guess who's sending the aliens to conquer Earth? It's Morgan Le Fay.
Oh, okay.
and it has the best use of Excalibur I could think of to show just how friggin' sharp that sword is.
Nice.
And that gives away the ending of the book, so I can't tell you anything.
I thought you were going to say Merlin was the one who was causing all the grief, and they had to stop him or something like that.
Merlin was definitely there, and it's just drawn so viscerally, and it's just like everything keeps repeating, and it was way more progressive than comics were at that time. In that Sir Tristan was reincarnated as a woman. And that's that it drives Tristan nuts. I almost said drives him nuts. It got very confusing how to refer to the person, because Isolde, his soulmate, was also reincarnated as a woman. It's like, and he's like, I can't love you the way I'm meant to love you because I'm not a man. Therefore, I must find the Holy Grail. And,
is that supposed to fix everything? The Holy Grail?
Well, apparently, it grants you Morgan made promises.
Okay. All right.
And
but if it's true love, they'll just get along anyways and find a way to be together.
Yes. And at the time, that was daring. I mean, that
would have been, yes, big time. Yes.
That was mid 1980s for DC Comics. It was all that stuff was just cutting edge stuff then. Now it's like, well, of course they are. Why wasn't everybody else? This should have been, King Arthur and the Gay Knights.
Right. It should have happened ages ago.
Yeah. Finally, King Arthur is gay. How'd we get here? We're looking at PDFs. Bone chilling $10.
Yeah, I got a variety of so the rewards. I tried to make them again, learning from everything that so far from the first one. I tried to make rewards start at $10 Canadian and go all the way up to about 150, 160 Canadian. I did have a bunch of original art that was sketch cards, but they all sold. So all those sets sold. So the highest you can go right now, I believe, is the Fright Night special, which I named after one of my favorite movies. For one of the first comic books I actually ever collected, believe it or not, was Fright Night. But yeah, so you can get the PDFs and the comics together, and pretty much any basic mix and match you can get. And it starts, if you want a printed copy, that's it there. So it's $17 for the first printed copy, but I think with the shipping, it'll get to around $27, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking here. So if you're in the U.S., where we use real money,
it hoits.
I had Mr. Hop on, who was the guy who runs the Kitchener Comic Con, and I was kidding about the money, and then we got on to talking about the convention. He's like, and it's free admission. I'm like, free admission in Canadian money means you pay the Americans to go in.
Ow, goes negative. Dang.
Oh yeah, well, it has to, doesn't it? You multiply by the formula.
there was one point in the last time the economy crashed before the whole COVID thing, where our dollar was worth the same as your guys's, and it was about to surpass it. And I was like, yeah, and I was like printing my comics in the States because it was dollar for dollar, and I was like, yeah, and then it all just changed.
I remember when I think it was around the time that the direct market was coming in, that the comic books were starting to get priced with 2 prices on them. I'm like, why don't the Canadians just drive over here and buy it for 75 cents cheaper? It's like, I didn't get that. It was like, it cost them, what does it cost them, like, more to get the comic book in Canada?
You don't want to see how we're taxed on gas, and that's all I would ever add to that. It's ridiculous. We have so many levels of tax on gas. It's foolish. Right now, I think it's down a bit, and it's like 138 for us a liter, which you know what I mean, which is ridiculous.
A what?
I believe it's a liter. Yeah, exactly. Times it by 3.
Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah. That's but yeah, I mean, you could walk across the Canadian border with, like, dynamite strapped to your chest and be like, hey, turn around there, mister. But you walk in with a truckload of cigarettes, you're going.
You're confident. Yeah.
You will disappear from the face of the earth.
The cigarettes are a funny thing now, because I'm living through that whole thing where they started putting bad pictures on them of, like, what cancer looked like. It was just nasty whenever you saw a pack of cigarettes. And now they won't let you, no branding on them. They hide them behind a counter with shelves on it. You cannot look at them. And when you open it up and you look, there's no branding. So you're not allowed to even have branding on them anymore in Canada.
Wow.
That's how hard they're fighting cancer and smoking, just because it's cost the healthcare system, right? Our healthcare system is tax, like our tax, we pay that with taxes, and it's one of the biggest things is cancers, cigarette smoking related to cancer.
You know what though? They keep taxing those cigarettes and making them harder to get. If they really were serious about it, they'd just make them illegal.
Right.
But as long as the government's making their money off of it, they're just going to make it. Yep. It's a dog and pony show to make it look like we're trying to, but we're getting money. So $14 gets you the physical copy. Let's click on it just to see what happens. Okay, so
34 Canadian. That's interesting. I thought it was 27.
34 Canadian because it's
about 27. It says underneath. Okay.
Yeah, it's 14 to ship it. It's yeah. Wait, so what is it now? Okay. It's 14 for the book, and apparently it's 20 to ship it.
Okay.
Because it.
Interesting.
No.
I wonder why would you.
I'm getting my labels mixed up here. It's 14 US to buy the book. It's 27 US to have it completely shipped. So your total is $27 for the book. So it's another $13. It's about as much to ship as it is to buy.
Exactly.
Which
I think that really obvious there, don't they?
Yeah. I was like,
and that's the yeah. So that's at that price for the 2 comics. Yeah.
Oh, is that what? Oh, this is $34.
34 is the two comics together.
So y'all can click through what you want to get on here and figure out your own cost. What's it going to cost you? I'm not clicking on all these because it's Kickstarter, and they make it weird because every time I hover over one of these things, they block it out with a big green box.
I don't know why they do that.
But I guess they want you to know where your mouse is. But if I'm sitting here trying to tell somebody about your comic, like, select this reward. That's all I can tell you.
It's an aggressive click, right? It doesn't have to be there. It could be a button at the bottom. Like I took a layout design. Why would you? Yeah, they're trying to aggressively make it easy for you to click on it. Maybe on a phone or something, it's harder.
Maybe on a phone, everything is hard to click on because I'm like, that's not where I click.
Yes,
I hate tiny buttons. Oh. Yeah, my AT&T app is like, it's impossible to hit because they like give you lines of text that are in a bullet list. And you're like, I want the 3rd one, not the 4th one. Back up, try it again.
Every time I watch someone younger use a phone, I'm just like watching them, just their fingers and their thumbs, and I'm like, oh no, not gonna happen. Never gonna be.
We're going to have a race of humans in the next 3 generations that'll have like long, skinny thumbs that are very dexterous because they're the ones that'll survive. So the collector's edition is somewhere here. It's a bundle. It's in the Fright Night bundle. $139.
So there is a bundle above that with it. At the around $50. It's around
there. It is
$60 right there. Yeah. So it is part of this one. I call it the comic collectors, to try and give everybody the comic in the 2 PDFs. And so it's getting around, it's $64. So I'm assuming that would be around 50 American. Again, it's talking out my pie hole a little bit with the math to it. I assume on the site when you look at it, the price is correct, but it's really interesting to see this because you are on .com.
Yeah.
And
it didn't convert.
Got 64. Like, oh, it does say CA in front of it. I thought
it says CA in front of it, and then
right.
Yeah, well, and then right underneath of it, and you can't really see it. It says about $51.
That's what I want. I would want that in reverse, right? I want you as an American buyer to see the 51, not to see.
That's what Indiegogo does. Indiegogo puts it into your local currency, and then if you hover over it, it shows you what the original currency was.
Nice,
because it's weird. I'll be like, I'll always be able to tell when I've got like a Canadian or a UK crowdfunder going up here, because like, why is your goal $312? It seems like such an odd number. It's like, well, it was really 500, but that's your money.
Yeah, you have to carry the 5 divided by which way the wind's going on that day, and
you know, when it's bigger numbers, it's even funnier. It's like, so you really needed to have, you know, $4,016 to get this thing. Now you hedged it down to the penny.
We got an Excel sheet, a real accurate one. This one here is the Fright Night bundle, so you'll start to see some more stuff in here. So this is the biggest bundle I could make without the card sets and with the ideas that I had for some of the rewards. Right here is we're coming up now. So it's all 3 of the comics, of course, with the PDFs. Right here you're getting into, so Ariel Mandel. I don't know if you remember this or not from the 90s. Do you remember Evil Ernie?
Yes, I remember Evil Ernie, spinoff of Lady Death.
He's drawing the new versions of it. So that's cool. So he got the job to do that, and he just started doing that.
Doing that for Dynamite? Cool.
I don't know who he's doing it for, actually.
I think Dynamite owns him right now.
Okay.
Brian didn't get him back. He got Lady Death back, and that's what his is. But Diamond held on to the Evil Ernie stuff because Evil Ernie just showed up in Die! Namite. Where they did it's their version of the deceased thing, the zombie thing, and I don't know, Red Sonja gets the smiley button, and you know, they're all after Evil Ernie at the end of it. It was weird because they're always bringing Vampirella and Red Sonja together, but they brought Vampirella and Red Sonja and Deja Thoris and Jennifer Blood, of all people. I'm like, really? And Project Superpowers.
So they must go, what do we have the rights to? How can we mix this all together? And
we licensed everything.
Let's just mush it all together. And
exactly.
And just to comment on the sticker set, they'll be die cut, but I'm also trying to sell them in 2 ways. So I see a lot of the people in the rewards, they have them, they're going to come cut out, right? And then you would just peel them off. I wanted to make them collectible as well, remembering back to my childhood when you used to get stickers. So I'm actually going to put them on a sticker sheet and then have them die cut.
So they're die cut onto the sheet. You could peel them off, but
exactly, it's up to you what you want to do with them. I want to put them on my wall. I'll probably do both. I'll probably put them on some.
Yeah, but you want to print them 4.5 feet tall when you print them on your wall. You want those. You want those big heads.
Actually, right there, you can't see off wall there. I have an empty spot.
Hey, you know, Pops misses you. He had to follow you over here. Hey, Pops, how you doing tonight, man?
Hey, Pops.
So yeah, well, I forget what they called those things, those big things you put on your wall, but I never had any. I was too old when they came out, and the ones I wanted when I was a kid were in the DC comics, and it was like, you know, they showed the Batman and the Superman that were like, you know, 5 feet tall, and they were jointed at the elbows, and you could pose them on your wall.
No,
that was kind of cool.
Awesome. With like a little rivet or something that kind of made them kind of.
No, it was like a grommet. It was like there was a 3-hole punch, well, a 1-hole punch through the elbow, and then the arm was a separate piece, and it was just, you know, grommeted on there, and it just spun around and around and around like a broken elbow. But the same with their knees and their legs. You couldn't get very many good poses out. You could either have them waving or hands on hips.
Well, but hands on hips, I mean, that's classic.
That's classic.
That's like, here I am. So in this section here, we're getting to the art prints. So I had David Ocampo did the coloring for these. He worked for Marvel and a couple other of the bigger name companies out there. He worked even for Heavy Metal Magazine, a Top Cow Image. So he did the coloring on these for me, which was awesome.
Yeah, I know
the
artist.
name. Oh, he's done it quite a bit. He's been around for a while. I'm trying to think what else. MWP Comics he was with as well, but I don't. And Xenoscope. I hope I say it's Xenoscope right. I know that's really popular. But these two artists here, so Igor did the first top two, a Keeper and a Mangrel, and then down below here, it's David Dion did the bottom two ones. Some really cool ideas that I threw out at them, and they did a good job on it. That hand coming out of the ground on the bottom left one of the four is.
I got lost. I got lost here. These two are David Ocampo?
So David Ocampo did the coloring of all four of them.
Oh,
so Igor did the first two. So the top two are Igor's, those ones there. Yeah. And then down the next two is David Dion's or David Dion's. I'm not still 100% sure how to say it. Someone told me it was David the other day who's worked with him. I always thought it'd be David. Probably is. But yeah. See that little hand coming out of the ground there, the bottom left there? That was a really nice touch he put in there.
I like these spectral.
Yes. Yeah. Kind of RakeHells following him around. Again, the idea is that RakeHells are everywhere in the afterlife, and they're trying to manipulate and follow and figure out what you're up to, right?
So they're in the afterlife.
They are in the afterlife.
So how do they? So he's dead.
Who's dead?
The keeper.
Nope.
No. Okay, because they're following him around, and I'm like,
yep. So I always want to do a series between our reality and the afterlife, and what could be going on at the same time. So this whole series, I call The World of Whitefire, is all about this fight, this conflict between heaven and hell. But it's in this case, this series, these demons are there trying to protect. It's almost like, when you watch a horror movie. Wouldn't it be cool when you're watching the horror movie, you could actually see the spirit the entire time manipulating people and doing stuff and figuring things out instead of just things moving like a little thing scream, this. I just love the idea.
It would be cool if they did it in such a fashion where you didn't see it unless you put the 3D glasses on.
Oh.
Like, yeah. And then we're all scanners by that time. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be very cool. So it's the netherworld and the real world and how the two are interacting together.
Yeah, because they're manipulating people in the real world to do things, right? They're making people do bad things. So
that almost makes me want to do a graphic novel of the Screw Tape Letters now. If you know the book, but
I don't. That sounds like I should.
See, the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, all the time in video games I go for Narnia. Yes.
Yeah, same author.
Okay.
C.S. Lewis. The Screw Tape Letters were letters from a demon named Screw Tape to his nephew Wormwood, who was on Earth manipulating an Earth man, a living being.
Get out of here!
And every letter was, so you've made this mistake, and now you've let him do this, but that's okay because you push him this way. And C.S. Lewis being a very much of a Christian apologetics writer, not like we're sorry we're Christians. This is like this is how it works. I read it in 5th grade. Because that's when I read the Chronicles of Narnia. I said, I need more of this guy. And my teacher was like, well, he wrote this, but it might be above you. I'm like, give it to me.
I'll take it.
So yeah, if you like that kind of thing, get you a copy of the Screw Tape Letters. It's a small book.
I get a kick at the fantasy level of like Narnia. I know it's a lot of people go a very Christian movie, but I enjoy fantasy a lot. Like I enjoy movies that are out there and thinking outside the world is very different. So I actually enjoyed those movies a lot more than probably some people who are.
The thing I hate about Narnia is the fact that movies are driven by how much money they make. And I know that every time they get to Prince Caspian, that's where the bomb's going to fall and they're not going to make any more. And I'm never going to get to see The Last Battle, which was the 7th and final book in the series. Like, I want to see A Horse and His Boy. I want to see The Magician's Nephew, and I want to see The Last Battle. And you've got to film The Last Battle right after you film the Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe, because Peter and Lucy and Edmund and Susan are there and they're teenagers again. So you can't let them grow up in 7 years. You've got to
fill in the blanks. Yeah,
you got to film it correctly and in sequence. And then by that point, you're committed to making the movies. A Skull on a Stick. That's the bookmark.
Bookmark. Yeah. This is I made this in Corel Draw. So if you flip back to talking about Quint's Curse part of it, if you remember the Quint's Curse, I guess I have it. You'll see he has a skull on a stick. So it's so he's dressed like this because he's doing Hamlet. He's an actor, anyways. So the skull on the stick is something I wanted to keep put in there.
For that Yorick, I knew him, Horatio.
And so I thought, why not? I was originally what I really wanted to do, and I couldn't do it. I tried so hard. Is I wanted to die cut like this, and I even made my own little demos of it, and I cut out the teeth so it could grab the top of your page in your book.
Oh,
so you
excellent!
see these eyes sticking out the top of your book whenever you put it in as a bookmark. So I thought this was going to be this fantastic thing, but it couldn't get it to work. I got a laminator. I tried laminating it for strength. I couldn't find a way to build it. Now I bought a 3D printer, and what I'm hoping at some point is I can figure out a way to 3D print something like this, because I think it would be pretty cool to have something like that.
Talk to George Peter Gatsis. He will help you engineer that, because he's got like a house full of 3D printers. That is his job.
Nice.
And he's doing crowdfunded comics, and he works with comic book crowdfunders and helps them out a lot. I was thinking, and this is one of those things that that they always sell around Halloween time, usually with dinosaur heads, but I bet you could find them with skulls if you wanted to have them like as a tchotchke. The skull on a stick, and there's like the little trigger at the bottom that makes the jaw open and close.
Yes.
Like
I first showed this on Pop's show, and that was Halloween, so I did a Halloween release, and guess what he had in his hand? A skull on a stick.
Doesn't surprise me.
I was like, what the heck?
How'd you get that?
Yeah. I didn't. That's IP.
Yeah. Yep. It's unfortunately somebody's put a skull. I think Vlad the Impaler holds the
record for how many skulls on a stick.
Yeah, he collected them all and collected the entire set.
And I intentionally made it in that bookmark sharp on the end too. But anyways, so this here is a really nice card set that I have. This is back when me and Corey started out at the cons here in Ottawa, Canada, and we printed a bunch of these limited print card sets, and it was all of our ideas at the time. So this has a couple Easter eggs in it. Corey does Sister Mercy, and he's really taken it in his own direction now in that, and we decided not to have it. Oh, is he looking for it? You know Sister Mercy. Oh, snap.
She's on my wall.
Right. Well, Corey, so I don't know if I told you this before. I'm certainly told Pop, but he's one of my best friends growing up. So I'm the one who did the original layouts for him. I actually did original sketch of Sister Mercy before it all started. But this here is actually some of the cards from our original card set. So it's very Easter egged back to where we were starting years ago, probably about 12 years ago now. But the card set itself is just that silver leaf front to it. It comes in that plastic case. It's got 15 cards in it. It's a great little set. So I have lots of those. They'll always probably be in every one of my Kickstarters until they're gone.
Very cool. Yeah, cards are always a fun thing. When we talk about cards, I always say that I tell every single crowdfunder, you're doing your cards wrong. But that's just me. My thing is that the thing about cards was always the chase. The chase was what was fun.
This is going to be interesting. Yes. I think I know where you're going to go with this.
You remember the 90s, of course. You came into comics probably around that same time. The X-Men Fleer cards, you bought a pack of them, and then you like, well, I got card number 6, I got card number 15, I got card number 312, and you waited until you put them in the book,
the holders, and you put them all in order. Yeah,
we all had the binder, and you put them, you put them in order, and well, mine aren't in order because these aren't sequence cards. These are just my crowdfunded book things. You've got one in order, don't you?
Yeah. So I got like the old X-Men sets. I got like 2 of those from.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. No, you're right. And I used to pay so much money to get. I got the holograms still from these ones.
Well, there was one set where if you put them together, 1 through 9 made one picture.
Yep. Yeah. There's some of those in here. Yeah.
Yeah. So my thought has always been, You and 8 other crowdfunders. Hang on,
I don't know if you can
give me a big
see it
screen again.
So it makes one danger, like kind of the danger room with the X-Men.
Exactly.
Big picture. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So imagine that you and Corey and 7 other guys all have your own crowdfunders going. You all have your own singular trading card in it.
Per thing. Yep.
And all of those 9 trading cards together make one picture if you get them all.
Yeah, of all the indie characters together.
Of all the indie characters together in one scene, in one interacting scene. And you tell that in your campaign. You're like, hey, this is card number 5 of this set of these other campaigns. And now you got, 8 other campaigns pointing to yours and bringing to you people who maybe they didn't care about RakeHell, but damn it, they've got the first 2 cards of this set. Yeah. And they've got to have them all because that's how we are. And this is how to get the card.
And how much money I spent, $5 a pack back in the day, me and all my friends per pack to try and assemble that. So I thought you were going to go different. I thought you were going to go down that road of how much money people spend on just the packs. Because I thought about that. Like, don't put the complete set into the one pack. I thought, what if what if you just randomize the cards, right? And you got to collect all 15, so you have to buy multiple packs. But I felt cruel.
That would be cruel doing that in a crowdfunder, but to have that kind of support, because what if you got one crowdfunder that blows up, one out of 8 that just blows up, and and 20% of those people are the OCD type that have to have their entire card set.
Yeah.
Well, instead of spending $50 on 10 packs to hope you get the one card, I'll spend $20 to know that I absolutely am going to get the one card.
People used to buy them by the case because I think there was like rules that by the case you could get like a whole set. And I've seen ridiculous stuff for people spending a lot of money on card sets. It's definitely
if you were there when the case was opened, you knew that one of the top 4 was going to have the holofoil card in it.
Whoa.
And that was the other thing. So yeah, but somebody should do that to where it, I always hear, well, it's hard to get people to work together on.
It is. I always, what I wanted to do? I felt so I'm thinking, I'm up in Canada. I know this guy's down here in the States. This guy's over here. Why can't we find a way to promote each other's merchandise, even if it was by just a card? Like, I understand it's expensive to ship merch, but I wanted to have, when I went to the cons, a separate section on my table. Maybe it's because, I don't know why I guess I'm Canadian. But anyways, because I'm paying for the table. But maybe we could have a cross promotion deal, right? I would take part of my table and list, like, just get postcards to support your indie comics down the one side, right?
I've seen people do that. The Embrace, which you just saw the bag for, which we're getting ready to ship soon. The Embrace did a cross promotion with Perfect 10, which is in the UK, and it was, if you back Perfect 10, and then you back the Embrace, and you show, hey, here's my backer number from Perfect 10. Then if you bought both of them, the Embrace was going to ship a crossover poster. You'd get a poster that had both characters on it in a single scene. So another option where people can work together and make it happen. You just have to get creative.
A lot of the time, I think.
Yeah, I think we've have we hit everything you got. You've got these 4x6 cards here. These are big cards.
Right? Yep. And now I didn't update this graphic. The lighting goddess is now out of there. She's now the one you're getting for free for if we make it to 50 in the next 24 hours. So those other 2 cards are the 2 remaining ones from Aja. And still, I mean, if you know anything about sketch cards, I'm learning a lot. But the original art like this, and his art is quality on these. Like, they're really really nice. They can get worth a lot of money. You can see them going on eBay. Even like my friend Jasmine does these, and she did one of dinosaurs. It sold for over $300 US on, you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous what sketch cards can go for if somebody likes them out there.
Yeah, and they don't take up a whole lot of space, so you can collect.
They don't weigh a lot. Well, the protector weighs a lot. I'm putting everything in protectors when it comes to those. I don't want anybody to get anything damaged. You know what I mean?
You are at 39 backers right now. I do not know if that's moved or not.
It hasn't. It hasn't moved all day. I don't know why I can't get any traction. It's cruel.
11 backers needed. Yeah, and it's not even like it's like waiting till the last day now. Because I'm a Kickstarter backer that like waits until the last day to give the money because otherwise I forget that I paid and then when they take my money, I might not have it there anymore. Which is
that would be terrible. That'd be even worse if you.
Well, because I use my PayPal, and it's like, PayPal is my mad money. So if I might be out and say I'm going to go McDonald's. What have I got in PayPal? Yeah, I've got a couple of bucks in PayPal. Let's get a hamburger. And then I forget, oh, that money was promised to Kickstarter, and then they come for it, and I don't have it anymore. So.
Cruel world.
That's only happened to me once. I actually had the money there. I just wasn't expecting them to take it because this is what happened, because they took it, and then my PayPal said, "Oh, you don't have enough. Let's dip into your bank account and take the rest." I'm like, "Oh, I really don't want that to happen."
Right. Now we're going to places we don't want to see the money go.
All right. Well, Doran, this has been fun. It looks like a very interesting series here. And this can be an ongoing, like you said, it's going to be like, would you say like 12 issues or more?
Yeah, I'm thinking it'll probably be around 10. It might go to 12. I haven't got it fully plotted out. I know how it's going to end. I know where we got to get to. And another thing actually I didn't even mention is I'm taking where the horror goes to a spot you're not going to expect, where I don't think I've ever seen it in a movie or anything like that, but it's going to be, there's going to be some interesting situations. And it's a spot that I think horror should have been honestly long ago. But we'll see if we get there. I don't want to spoil it. I hate doing that. I leave lots of cliffhangers here, but it's because I don't want to ruin it for a reader. But yeah, it should be probably 10 to 12 issues, I would suspect, with an ending.
All right.
I like to end things. Same with the Forsaken Future. It has an ending. I don't want it to go forever, but I know I can't fit it into a graphic novel situation.
It's too big a story. Yeah. All right. Well, everybody in the chat, be sure to click the link. There's less than a day to go. The link is right below the video. Takes you straight to the Kickstarter page. Throw money at it. Don't be taken back by the bigger numbers. It's Canadian money. It's a lot cheaper than what you think it is.
It is.
So Doran, thank you so much for bringing this onto our show tonight. It's been a pleasure getting to meet you again after CromCon. Was it just last night? Wow.
It was crazy to think. In less than 24 hours, we're here again. Yeah.
It feels so long ago. Maybe just because I didn't sleep. Between
the burrito. It's the burrito talking.
Oh, yeah. Well, the burrito fortunately quieted down. I threw some turkey on top of it, and that kind of shut it up.
Nice.
It'll probably work its way through the turkey sometime around 3 a.m, and then I'll be like,
yeah,
all right.
No. It was also great meeting you, RJ, and I appreciate you squeeze me in like this too. It's,
glad to do it. Glad to do it for all creators. If you're running short of time and you need a show, I need guests. It's what I do. So thanks for coming on, folks in the chat. Yeah, it's symbiotic. So folks in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you. And as always, we hope you had a blast. Good night.